name is Luyambampamba Kapembwa, and I'll be speaking to you about abuse of dominance and the negative effects that abuse of dominance conduct has on the market and the economy in general. Abuse of dominance. This is a conduct that dominant firms can engage into. This particular conduct has negative effects on competition in the marketplace, as it tends to stifle competition among market players. Now, when you're talking about abuse of dominance, there are a number of conducts that dominant firms engage into that tend to stifle competition. For example, they can engage in predatory pricing, where they price their products at very low prices that are found to be below their cost of production. Their sole aim is to drive out competition, and when they've managed to do that, they increase their prices. Or dominant firms can actually engage in excessive pricing. This is where they increase their prices to very high levels to the detriment of consumers who are not able to afford to purchase these prices. So negative conduct can only be engaged into by a dominant firm, and this is because there are thresholds that are set in order to determine a firm that controls a market share of more than 30% or more. So imagine a situation where you have a dominant firm that controls 70% of the market. It can behave in any manner that it wishes because they don't have competitors that are able to counter this behavior, and consumers rarely have a better choice for their products. As a result, they tend to buy the same products and services of these dominant firms. So in terms of when a firm is found wanting, the Commission, when it determines that an enterprise has engaged in or has abused its dominance on the market, they tend to carry out an investigation into the aspect of this enterprise, the behavior of the enterprise, in order to determine what effect this particular conduct has had on the market. So when an enterprise that has abused its dominance is found wanting under the Act, they can be fined or they can be penalized 10% of their turnover, as well as given additional conditions that they have to meet. When an enterprise is found to have violated its dominance or violated the Act, and this is what we call abusing its dominance, the Commission can undertake an investigation in order to determine what conduct this firm has engaged into and what effect it has had on the market. And once this firm that has abused its dominance is found wanting under the Act, it can be penalized under Section 16 up to 10% of its turnover in that particular year in which the conduct was undertaken. Abuse of dominance is a very negative vice on the economy. It has negative effects on the economy. Not just a particular market, but it affects the economy in general. So once the Commission has determined that these firms have been engaging in anti-competitive conduct, this could include predatory pricing, excessive pricing, or where they are tying products, there are a number of remedies that the Commission will give to these erring parties. So for example, in addition to a penalty that can be levied of up to 10% of your turnover of that particular enterprise, enterprises may be requested to discontinue an agreement, for example, that have been found to have been engaging into. So this agreement, the parties will be told to discontinue the agreement or to remove those clauses that have been found anti-competitive. So if the agreement can be effected without those clauses that are found to be anti-competitive, then they can continue with that particular agreement. In other instances, parties can be told to cease and desist the particular conduct. So at that moment, the parties will have to stop that particular conduct. So an instance where you were pricing your goods very exorbitantly, you may be asked to stop while investigations are being undertaken. You may also be asked to divest. There are instances where enterprises are very, very big. So when they're very big, you may be asked to divest a part of the business because you're too dominant to operate in the market. When you're too dominant, it means you also have market power. And when you have market power, you tend to behave in any way that you choose to. So you may be asked to hive off a part of your business or divest that part of the business, sell it off to another business. In addition, some of the remedies that the Commission may give to erring parties would include asking or directing the parties to keep reporting to the Commission on a regular basis. It could be every 6 months or annually, on this progress that they have taken as an enterprise, in order to avoid them engaging into that anti-competitive conduct that they were found to have been engaging. So these reports will have to be periodic until such a point where the Commission is satisfied that these erring parties have put in place all the necessary conditions to take care of future anti-competitive conducts being engaged into. So that, in a nutshell, was on abuse of dominance and the negative effects that it has on the economy. Thank you very much.